Loud, obnoxious, and off-putting. These are all words that I would use to describe Tim Robinson's brand of comedy, and it is at full force in his newest film, Friendship, co-starring Paul Rudd. This is one of the most chaotic, craziest films I've seen in a while, and I can't wait to talk about this movie that made me laugh consistently. This is one of the funniest movies I've seen in a while, and it's largely due to the persona that is Tim Robinson, one of our most unique creative comedians who is so apt at creating chaos in his film, and it's just such an eerie, creepy way that he does it in this movie. Essentially what this film is it follows this character of Craig. He is this marketing executive during the day, and in the evening all he does is sit around on his chair, scroll his phone, and then from time to time during the new Marvel movie he has to go out, but don't you dare tell him spoilers, as he tells us throughout this movie. And his life is very mundane. He doesn't seem to have purpose. He's in this marriage that you're very confused what this marriage exactly is. He's married to the Kate Mara, her character in this movie. And one day his life is flipped upside down when he gets a new neighbor played by Paul Rudd. The neighbor is Austin Carmichael. He is this charismatic weatherman that takes in Craig, and they become friends. And it just like blows Craig's mind that he gets to be friends with this guy like Paul Rudd. And he just has all these adventures, these plans for their friendship. And then one day Austin tells Craig that he's like, hey, I think we should end this friendship. And it sends this character of Craig spiraling into madness. And this is one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time. And it is quite literally, it's that Bill Murray movie, What About Bob, mixed with like Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver. This is an insane movie that literally had me laughing every minute. I don't think there has been a comedy in a while that has hit every joke as much as this movie hits every joke. And this is not going to be a comedy for everyone, and I should warn everyone of that. You have to be in line with what Tim Robinson's brand of comedy is. If you can handle what he does, and I think you should leave, or in Detroiters, you will really appreciate what he's doing in this movie, because I think this is a comedy performance for the ages. He is just such a psycho in this movie, and it's such a train wreck watching this character of Craig go through life. It's one of those ones where you almost have a struggle to get through it. Like, I describe this performance that he's giving in this character of Craig as like watching somebody survive a car crash only to then be hit by a train and then come out of that miraculously fine and step aboard the Titanic. It is such a challenging performance to like wrap your head around. Like, he is so obnoxious in this film, and he's so like weird and off-putting, and it's such cringe-inducing comedy that he delivers perfectly. It's such a tightrope act to keep the audience engaged into the mind of an absolute crazy person, and a crazy person not in a derogatory way, just in quite literally how this guy lives his life and everything that he deems important. And I just loved it. It's such a train wreck of a character just going sideways in this movie, and it's just so awkward, everything that he does. And Tim Robinson is a master of this. Every time he's on screen, I'm laughing. There's scenes where he's just carrying his cup of coffee, and it's like full, and you can see him like just carefully trying not to spill it all over himself. And it's just like plays like gangbusters. I don't know what to say except every scene that he's in on this film, I was just laughing. It is truly a laugh out loud comedy. And this character of Craig is just so well personified by Tim Robinson in this movie. And Tim Robinson's gift as a comedian, yes, he is so funny, but what makes him so funny is his face. He is such a gifted physical actor, and everything he does is based on his ability to react to insanity that he often causes. There are so many funny moments in this film that are wordless, and you're just looking at Tim Robinson's face and you just start laughing. Like that is the introduction to this movie. You have the Kate Mara character who plays his wife in this movie, and she's like telling this like harrowing story about this cancer diagnosis that she recently had, that she just survived. And the camera just slowly cuts to Tim Robinson's face, and instantly in my theater, you could hear people just start snickering, including myself. Like, we all just started laughing at what he's doing with no words, no dialogue. We know nothing about this character. We just see his like face in the background and we just start laughing. It's such a joy to get to watch Tim Robinson do his thing in this movie, and for a film to understand what makes Tim Robinson such a unique presence on camera. And it's just like, I was just blown away by what he does. And it's just like so funny. And I don't want to like take anything away from the other performers in this movie. Paul Rudd plays Austin Carmichael, the neighbor in this movie. And you know, I think Paul Rudd is secretly one of our most generous comedic actors, in the sense that he is the point guard of comedy. He is setting up everyone else to have the big laughs. He is doing everything that he can as the kind of straight guy in these films to just like get everyone else set up for the big laugh and big laugh and big laugh. And he does it with such ease. He is paying off everyone first and foremost, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't get his comedy in this film. He is incredibly funny. And the reason this movie works so well is because Paul Rudd has such control on this character of Austin Carmichael. Because first you're like, oh, this is Paul Rudd. This is a Paul Rudd type character, just uber charismatic, handsome. You understand why everyone would want to be around this guy. And then as the film unravels, you start to learn more about this Austin Carmichael character. And you're like, oh, this guy's got his own things going on. And he's kind of a loser himself. And he like doesn't stick up for himself. And he's this very fake person that presents something else of an image that he doesn't actually live up to be. And yet in Robinson's mind, he's just completely like God. And it's such a funny juxtaposition between these two as Austin Carmichael begins to realize essentially like what is happening in his life. And also just like Andrew DeYoung's writing of the name Austin Carmichael. I don't know, like to me, that's just a funny name for a character. I really like that as well. And then like the comedic performance that I kind of came out shocked with, not really knowing what to expect, but I was just kind of blown away by what she does in this movie. It's Kate Mara of House of Cards fame, an actress that I'm not always the biggest fan of. And I have to admit it, she is so funny in Friendship. I was so impressed by what she does in this character as the wife of Craig's character. Her name is Tammy in this film. And at first glance, you kind of just assume you know what she's about. She's this typical long-suffering spouse to a narcissistic husband, totally lost in her husband's chaos. That's not what she is. This character of Tammy has her own agency within Friendship. She has basically her own story going on in the background. And she's such a subtle comedic performer in this movie that a lot of times she like delivers a joke and it takes like a beat or two for you to like get the payoff. And you're just like, wait, what did she say? And it's just such a funny thing over and over again. And it's like portrayed very quickly into the film where you're like, oh, this character isn't exactly the character that I thought she was. And it's very clear she has this very bizarre relationship with her son that is incredibly funny and never explained in this movie. And I just loved it. I thought she was so freaking funny in this movie. But they all are. This is such a talented cast all around. The jokes all land. I want to shout out Andrew DeYoung, who is the writer and director of Friendship. I think this is such an incredible writing task of him to understand everything that Tim Robinson does really well as a comedian, and just to be able to boil that down into its essence and put it in this film and make it a Tim Robinson sketch type character that we're all know and fond of. And I was just so impressed that DeYoung nails the absurdity of having a Tim Robinson in his film at the center of it, and how that just connects the world around him when you plug this character into this world. And it's just like, you can understand this film a few different ways. Like if you wanted to see this film as one thing of like, oh, this is kind of an exploration of men, a generation of men, I should say, who are struggling to connect, and this kind of idea of like male loneliness, whatever you want to do, you can totally read that into this film. If you also were just like, I don't want to think too hard about this movie, I just want a movie that makes me laugh every minute, that's also what this film does. It's so beautifully layered in that sense that this film can operate in both modes, but it isn't overpowering you one way or the other. And maybe he's a byproduct of a culture that is like past a generation of men on, and all they can care about is their phones and watching Marvel movies. Maybe this film means nothing and it's just supposed to bring you into the madness of Robinson's mind. all I know is watching this movie and watching Tim Robinson do what he does in this movie, whether it's him screaming at his phone, whether it is him just having an absolute freak out at work, whether it's him just licking a frog, which is a bizarre scene, and it's one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a movie in recent memory. Like, I was cackling during this scene. It's all just so incredibly funny. And I had this strange sense of euphoria watching this movie where I'm just like, oh, this is what comedy can be. And it's such a specific type of comedy that plays to someone who has the sensibilities that I do. And it's just incredible that they are able to pinpoint a style of comedy I didn't know that I wanted in my life a few years ago. And now a few years in, I'm just like, I can't live without this comedy. It makes me laugh so much. And maybe that just says that we're all sickos. Maybe it's that men all secretly long to be locked arms in arms with Paul Rudd performing a pitch perfect a cappella version of My Boo, Hitman's Club Mix by Ghost Town DJs, which is just like an incredibly funny scene in this movie. Who's to say? All I know is I had a ball with Friendship, and I recommend it to everyone. Listen, if you don't like the Tim Robinson character, just don't see this film, because I don't know if this is going to change your mind. If you're even slightly amused by him, go see this film, check it out, see it with as packed the theaters you can, and I think you guys are going to have a great time. I had a great time, and it's a huge recommendation from me. 4.5 out of 5 stars for Friendship. Thank you to everyone who watched this review, and make sure to subscribe to this channel if you liked my review, and leave a comment letting me know what you thought of Friendship.